This is the AB4WS radio show. Every week, bringing you the exciting amateur radio news and information happening in the greater Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana areas.
The AB4WS radio show can be found on the Apple Podcast app or your favorite podcast application. And now also available on the AB4WS radio show YouTube channel. Several well-known radio amateurs are among recipients of this year's honors from the Radio Club of America, also known as RCA, an organization of both professionals and amateurs that has been promoting advancements in wireless communication for more than 100 years. Among the amateurs recognized this year by RCA are noted contester, former RCA president, and DX Engineering CEO Tim Duffy, K3LR, recipient of the Edgar F. Johnson Pioneer Citation for noteworthy contributions to RCA and the radio industry. Chester B. Scholl Jr., K3LA, receiving the Special Services Award for significant work to promote RCA's goals and objectives. Julio Rapol, WD4R, longtime amateur radio coordinator at the National Hurricane Center, recognized for his service at WX4NHC with the Barry Goldwater Amateur Radio Award. Dr. Christina Collins, KD8OXT, this year's recipient of the Carol Perry WB2MGP, the Young Professional Award. Collins is the Chief Operations Scientist for the HamSci Personal Weather Station Network. She also voices announcements heard each hour on WWV and WWVH as part of the WWVH Scientific Modulation Working Group. In addition, several hams were named as RCA Fellows, including AT&T executive Brian Daly, WB7OML, HamSci founder and coordinator Dr. Nathan Frizzell, W2NAF, radio historian Felicia Cruiser, KA2GXL, public safety communicator and former ARRL Western Washington section manager Monty Simpson, W7FF, Angel Vasquez, WP3R, head of telescope operations for the Arecibo Observatory in Puerto Rico. The awards were presented at RCA's annual technical symposium and awards banquet on November 22nd in Washington, D.C. Starting December 30th, the ARRL Foundation Scholarship Program opens the application period for eligible amateur radio operators pursuing higher education. The ARRL Foundation manages more than 150 scholarships established by generous donors ranging from $500 to $25,000. To apply, go to arrl.org/scholarship-program. The Dan Beard Council of Scouting America has launched a new initiative to establish a radio scouting committee. Organizers are currently reaching out to the scouting and ham radio communities for volunteers to help bring this vision to life. This is an open invitation for anyone excited about connecting scout and radio to get involved from the very beginning. Organizers are looking for scout leaders, parents, and amateur radio operators willing to share their passion, technical expertise, and community spirit. Whether you have years of experience as a ham or interested in helping scouts earn the Radio Merit Badge, or simply want to assist in planning and outreach, your support is needed to shape the future of this new group. This is a fantastic opportunity for both the scouting and ham radio communities to work together and build something meaningful for our youth, shared a leader helping to organize the effort. We hope to gather a core group of enthusiastic volunteers who can guide the committee's early planning, create engaging first events, and offer membership as things get started. By coming together at this formative stage, volunteers will play a foundational role in bringing radio adventures to scouts in the area. Anyone interested in helping is encouraged to reach out and express their interest. Whether you're a scout, a ham radio enthusiast, or someone who values youth education and hands-on learning opportunities, with enough community support and enthusiasm, the Radio Scouting Committee can become a thriving part of local scouting. And it all begins with the volunteers who answer the call. If you would like to volunteer, email Sean, KE8BBC@ARRL.net. December 7th is the Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club monthly Simplex Net on 146.580 at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, which is always held on the first Sunday of the month. They invite any licensed amateur radio operator to join them by checking into the net. Perhaps you cannot hear the net control station at your location. Well, no problem. Just listen and eventually you'll hear a station who will be able to take your check-in and relay it to net control. The net starts by stations who can hear the net control. Then each of those stations put out calls calls and take check-ins from stations who can hear them. And then the next set of check-ins will be asked to put out calls and take check-ins for stations that can hear their station. After the net, you can then post who you were able to hear in your net report on the nkarcgroups.io page. This is an effective way to test your equipment and to learn how you can use your equipment if something happened and all the repeaters were off the air. It is also a great training opportunity. A pro tip is to open up your squelch on the radio. You'll be amazed at how many other signals you'll hear in the noise that were squelched out. So on the first Sunday night of the month at 6 p.m., tune your radio to 146.580. Check into the Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club Simplex Net. The ARISS-RU has arranged for special slow scan TV transmissions starting December 1st on the satellite TS-38S on a downlink frequency of 437.825 using Robot 36. They'll be sending 12 images, making this Series 30 in the SST project. You do not have to have a ham radio license to receive these images, which can easily be received on a radio receiver set to 437.825 MHz in a phone or tablet or computer running some slow scan TV decoding software. Fun to download and decode these images sent from space. December is Yoda month, where the U.S. special 1x1 call signs will be used by young hams working the airwaves with the special event stations to encourage other young hams to be active on the amateur radio band. There'll also be demonstration at schools introducing students to the wonderful world of amateur radio, as well as introducing ham radio to friends while making memorable QSOs and enjoying great pile-up. Help fill the logbooks of these young hams by working as many of them as you can. For more information, go to YouthOnTheAir.org and support the future of amateur radio. Congratulations to Steve. AA8SW has received the new ARRL DXCC Trident Award for achieving DXCC on CW, phone, and digital. Great job, Steve. Congratulations. Are you a DMR user on Brandmeister? Well, the Brandmeister USA team reminds us that there is costs involved in keeping the Brandmeister US servers running to handle the needs of the DMR community. The current yearly server costs are approximately $225 a year for each of the servers. They're asking for your financial support. A contribution as little as $5 can help work towards covering these server costs. Get the link to donate. Email n3fe@repeater.net. Longtime chairman of the Okayan Amateur Radio Society Field Day Operations, Eric N8YC, has announced that he is stepping down from the Field Day chairman position. He is looking to help the new chairman. The first of the year, Eric is retiring from Ma Bell, and he is looking to settle down and devote more time to family needs. Thanks to Eric for his many years Field Day work. The SantaNet has returned to the air on 3.916 MHz for its 20th consecutive year, starting on November 28th and running through December 23rd. It's active on Thursday through Saturday nights until December 18th, and then it'll expand to every night. SantaNet is part of the 3916 nets, which Pete Thompson, KE5GGY, is always active in. Pre-net check-ins can be made online at www.cqsanta.com. Ho, ho, ho! Applications for the 2026 Youth on the Air Camp has opened up on December 1st, 2025. So if you know a young ham between the age of 15 and 25 that would like to attend the camp on June 14th through the 19th in Huntsville, Alabama, direct them to YouthOnTheAir.org for the information on how to apply. Danny Williams, KF4UKC, has become a silent key. Also, Rick Standback, N4WCQ, has become a silent key, victim of a heart attack. For many years, Rick was a regular check-in on the Kentucky Emergency Net from Woodford County, Kentucky, and was active on a 2-meter sideband in central Kentucky. Our condolences to both these silent keys and their family and friends. Their signals are greatly missed. On December 6th, starting at 4:30 p.m., a special guest will be on the air at the Cynthiana Lions Club Christmas Parade, and you know that special guest is none other than Santa Claus. But what you may not know is that Santa has agreed to get on the amateur radio band from the North Pole to communicate with children from a station set up at the Rose Opera House, right inside the entrance for easy access. Licensed amateur radio operators from the Harrison County Amateur Radio Club will be setting up the equipment and acting as net control operators, allowing anyone to talk to Santa. Each participant will receive a commemorative card providing them with a special keepsake of their long-range North Pole contact with Santa over ham radio. A Western Kentucky Parks on the Air meetup will be held on December 6th at the Lake Barkley State Resort Park for lunch at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So bring your go kit for show and tell, and then do your activation either before or after the event. Queen City Emergency Net will hold their annual holiday party event on December 11th at 5 p.m. at the Red Cross Building, 2111 Dana Avenue in Cincinnati, Ohio. Well, they have a short business meeting which will include nominations for the 2026 officer. They ask that you bring your favorite food items to share in the form of appetizers, snacks, or dessert, and the QCEN will provide the coffee, tea, or soft drink. As their custom, they will also be collecting items for donation to the local food bank and ask that you bring some non-perishable food items for this donation. All hams and friends of QCEN are welcome to come to the event. Are you a technician class operator who has never experienced the joys of making worldwide HF contact? Well, back this year is the ARRL 10-meter contest on December 12th, 13th, and 14th. The ARRL 10-meter contest historically is one of the biggest worldwide events with many individuals and clubs competing. With where we are at the 11-year solar cycle, 10 meters should be promising with conditions that could draw a big crowd, enabling new hams to make lots of DX contacts from all over the world. While most often 10 meters is a daylight band from sun up to sundown, the seasoned operators know that lots of neat contacts are often made in the evening hours, with oftentimes contacts into Japan, Australia, and New Zealand. Many operators have collected contacts to allow them to get DXCC in a weekend with this contest. For all the information on how you can have lots of fun with this event, go to ARRL.org/10-meter. On December 13th, the Brunch Bunch will be meeting at 1 p.m. at the Cracker Barrel Old Country Store, 7399 Turfway Road in Florence, Kentucky. So if you want to sit down and have a great brunch and talk some ham radio after all that turkey, come on out. December 15th is the Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club annual Christmas dinner at 7 p.m. at the Golden Corral, 4770 Houston Road in Florence, Kentucky. Greater Cincinnati Amateur Radio Association 1936 Net will host its annual AM night on Thursday, December 18, 2025 on 1936 kHz. The activities get underway with pre-net check-ins beginning at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The official net begins at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 0200 Zulu and typically lasts about 2 hours. The net control station for the event will be Bill NM4A, located in Union, Kentucky. The net typically attracts about 65 stations from all over the United States during the course of the evening. All AM check-ins are welcome. This is a great opportunity to hear some classic AM rig, heavy metal, military, broadcast AM transmitters, and state-of-the-art software-defined radio, all on AM. So come on out to the good old-fashioned Angel Music annual event December 18th. Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club is offering free live online classes for you to get your amateur radio general class license. Classes start on Sunday, January 11, 2026. All sessions are held live via Zoom and are free. For more information or to register, visit tiny.cc/BEAHAMG.
Repeater news.
Are you looking for the most up-to-date list of repeaters in the greater Cincinnati area? Well, I have an Excel spreadsheet where I've listed repeaters that are active in the area, separated by tabs for each band or mode, so you can easily look for just DMR repeaters or 2-meter analog repeaters and so on. The list includes 2 meters, 220, 440, 6 meters, D-Star, DMR, C4FM, P25, and some other classifications. Every time I update the file, I include the date and the file name so that you know you have the latest update. To download the file, go to the AB4WS Radio Show Facebook page and go to the file section and download the file. If you're not on Facebook, email me at ab4ws.radio@gmail.com and I can email you the latest file. If you see any errors, problems, additions, or corrections, email that information to ab4ws.radio@gmail.com.
Hamfest.
On December 6th, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. is the Fulton County Winter Hamfest at the Delta American Legion Post 373 at 5939 Ohio State Route 109 and County Road F in Delta, Ohio. For more information, go to k8bxq.org.
Are you looking to upgrade your license? Do you have someone else that's interested in the hobby? Here are some upcoming exam opportunities.
The Milford Amateur Radio Club holds amateur radio testing on the third Thursday of each month at 6 p.m. at the Miami Township Civic Center, 6101 Meyer Drive in Milford, Ohio. Please pre-register at milfordhamradio.org. The Dayton Amateur Radio Association has exams frequently. For their exam schedule, email exams.w8bi@gmail.com. On December 6th, the Silver Creek Amateur Radio Association will hold an amateur radio testing session at 10 a.m. at the Rittman Fire Department, 25 North Street in Rittman, Ohio. Please register at w8wky.org/license-exam. On December 6th, the Lake County Amateur Radio Association will host an amateur radio exam session at noon at the Kirtland Public Library, 9267 Chillicothe Road in Kirtland, Ohio. Walk-ins are accepted. On December 11th, the DeForest Amateur Radio Club will hold an amateur radio exam session at 6 p.m. at the Adams County Emergency Management Office, 31 Logan's Lane in West Union, Ohio. Please pre-register by emailing k8weh@k8weh@awrl.net or on the k8ge.net website. On December 13th, the Scott County Amateur Radio Club will hold an amateur radio testing session at the Georgetown Police Department in Georgetown, Kentucky. On December 13th, the Westchester Amateur Radio Association will host an amateur radio exam session at 10 a.m. at the Voice of America Museum, 8070 Tylersville Road in Westchester, Ohio. To register, go to hamstudy.org/session/WC8VOA. On December 13th, the Tusco Amateur Radio Association will hold amateur radio exams at 9 a.m. at the Dover Faith UMC, 420 North Wooster Road in Dover, Ohio. Walk-ins are accepted. To register, go to w8zx.net/exam. On December 20th at 9 a.m., the Nelson County, Kentucky Post 42 Amateur Radio Club, KB4KY, will hold an amateur radio exam session at the Keystone Bingo Hall, 126 Keystone Avenue in Bardstown, Kentucky. Registration is required. To register, email paul.keener, Kiener, @gmail.com. On January 10, 2026, the Westchester Amateur Radio Association will host an amateur radio exam session at 10 a.m. at the Voice of America Museum, 8070 Tylersville Road in Westchester, Ohio. To register, go to hamstudy.org/session/WC8VOA. Special thanks to this week's content contributors: WB8VNH, KY4GW, WB8YYS, KD8ZLD, K9HIO, N8LAR, K4NKU.
If you have something you think other amateur radio operators in the area would be interested in, send the information or your recorded audio file attached in an email to ab4ws.radio@gmail.com.
Covering your amateur radio news and information in the greater Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana tri-state area, this is Jack Prindle, AB4WS in Big Bone, Kentucky.